guys, so don't do this at home. I'm totes driving and vlogging at the same time. Stupid idea. Sorry for the really horrible angle up my nose. I am on my way to where I grew up, which is fun because I haven't been there since 2010. So 5 years. Well, not quite exactly 5 years. Last time was Christmas of 2010, which you guys would have seen like during my vlog everyday stuff. And I didn't have much time to do much of anything other than just go spend time with my family. I mean, we toured around Breezy Point, which is the town that I grew up in, which is really fun. I get to see my school, which just added on a whole bunch of stuff. But right now we're halfway through, which is St. Cloud, which is where I went to school. Well, you know, college. So let's not get into trouble by vlogging in the car because that would be bad. We're preparing to stop apparently, great. But this first intersection, the one that we're stopping at, actually, if I remember correctly, I don't really remember actually because I never came from this direction very often. But the intersection that we're stopped at currently, which I'm not going to show you at the moment because people are all around me and nobody needs to know that I'm vlogging right now. That is how you would get to my second apartment that I lived in St. Cloud, where I shared the apartment with Cosmo, which is fun. You can see like inside that apartment. If you go far enough back in my vlogs, you'll see the inside of that apartment because I started vlogging on this channel when I still lived there. Actually do enough YouTube stalking, you'll actually find the inside of my first apartment if you find the channel that I first started vlogging on, which I think I've mentioned in the past. So you might be able to find it, but I usually don't make that very well known. Yeah, we're entering into Benton County, so obviously that must have been because I lived in Sherburne County. St. Cloud is comprised of 3 different counties: Sherburne, Stearns, and Benton. I lived in both Benton and Sherburne, and then St. Cloud State is in Stearns. We're not going to go by St. Cloud State. I'll show you the intersection in which my other apartment was at. But we're also not going to go by the other apartment. We could. I mean, it's actually closer. It's more out of the way to go to my second apartment. So you see there that McDonald's, Subway, and Wendy's is? Yep, that is actually the intersection. I would turn there and go by those places to go to my first apartment in St. Cloud. It feels so weird to be back in St. Cloud because I haven't been in St. Cloud either since 2010. I think that was the last time I was in St. Cloud, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, so I'll update you guys as I get a little bit closer to where I grew up. So I just passed by the Brainerd Lakes Area Welcoming Center, which means I'm home. We're not actually quite there yet to anything really, but this is the area that I grew up in, and it feels really good to be home for the first time in 5 years. I mean, you know, I've lived in the Twin Cities now since 2009, and before that I lived in St. Cloud. But it's never quite felt like home, and now I feel like I'm home, and I'm starting to get a little emotional because I haven't been here in so long, and this is my childhood, like here. And you know, I mean, the things that I'm going to show you today are extremely important to my life, it shaped me to be who I am, and I am so looking forward to just being here and spending a weekend here. And I think I'm gonna try really hard to spend a weekend here like once a year, just to remember where I come from and remember who I am and everything like that. But I'm starting to see signs from Brainerd and I'm just so excited. I never lived in Brainerd. I lived in Baxter, which is right next to Brainerd. I went to Pequot Lakes High School, and before I lived in Baxter, I lived in Breezy Point, and oh my gosh, it's just so amazing, and it's so good to be home. It's so good to be home. Okay, so as you can see right here, there's a sign that says Ultimate Martial Arts and Fitness. That is not where I went to karate, but my karate instructor actually owns that school, so that's pretty cool. So we're driving to the first house that I lived in Baxter. This is Baxter we're driving through at the moment. Eventually, we're gonna come across the first house that I lived in, if it's still there, I don't know. It was still a new house when I lived in it, so I lived in a few houses because we rented houses. We didn't buy anything when we moved to Baxter. My mom and I moved to Baxter. We just rented. So let's see here. Let's go find that house. So we're coming up on it now. It's gonna be right up here on the very end, and it is still there. I do see it through the trees right here. But this is a duplex that I lived in. I lived in that side, that one particular duplex. I'm really hoping that not a whole lot has changed because I'm basically driving via recognition of stuff. Because mind you, it's been like 10 years since I've really like driven around this area. Well, I guess that's not true. 2007, so like 8 years since I've really driven around this area because my mom moved out of Baxter and down to the Twin Cities in 2007. So, and I was home pretty frequently. And then even up until 2009, I was still going to my old high school, but I never really drove around like this. So this is a first for a very long time. All right, so then right over here is actually the second house I lived in or the third house technically that I lived in Baxter. And then I can't go all the way down there though. But yeah, so there's the house right there, if you can see it, kind of. There's actually another house I lived in here in Baxter, and we were actually just driving basically on top of where it used to be. They moved it, and I'm gonna see if I can remember where they moved it to, which isn't too far from where we're at right now. But it was really bizarre that they were able to move it because it was a split entry. So I don't know how they moved it, but they moved it. And that was the house I lived in before the one that I just showed you. And then we moved literally next door because the same, you know, company owned it. What we're driving by right now is actually used to be just a brand new development, and now it's probably, you know, a 10-year-old development. That's so weird. So weird. This is such a weird experience right now. You have no idea. And I found it. It's the cream colored one right there. Oh yeah, I found it, buddy. All right, so I think I've had enough of Baxter. Let's go ahead and go to Cross Lake first, even though I'm gonna be staying in Cross Lake tonight. So I decided to come to Cross Lake first just because I wanted to see if I could go visit my old karate school. Actually, like, go inside. Sorry. I was eating on the way here and reminiscing. It had been fun to have the camera on the entire time because it would have been really fun. Oh, the Stop Milfoil New Strife sign. So I realized that I remember really bizarre things about here. Like, only things that a kid would notice, I noticed as a kid, obviously. And now they've become like staples in me recognizing where I'm at. So it's really bizarre. But lots of stuff in Cross Lake, actually. I spent a lot of time in Cross Lake. My grandparents lived in Cross Lake. And I went to karate in Cross Lake, and I spent pretty much every single day after school in Cross Lake because I was always wanting to go to karate every day. And I loved it. So it feels really cool to be back in Cross Lake now. It was home. It's still home. Oh, the famous dance gun. I think I knew that though. Anyway, so here we go. This is Cross Lake. This is so much fun. I think this right here, where there's like nothing here, this is actually where my grandparents' garage used to be. And right there where that building back there is, that's where their house used to be. Wow, that's really weird. Like, nothing is there anymore. Oh, and here is, not USA Karate. Where's USA Karate? I thought it was right here. I'm crazy, going crazy. Let's find USA Karate. Actually, it's not. There it is, right here. Right here. Right here. Let's pull in because I just want to see if Master Nelson's here. Okay, so I wasn't sure if he was in there, so I didn't go in there yet. I just drove by, and then just as I was like driving by, I saw him, so he is in there, and so I'm gonna turn back around and go back in there. But before we do that, let's just go see downtown Cross Lake, which downtown Cross Lake is really teeny. Coming up right here there's the dam. Right up here is downtown Cross Lake, and as you can see, it's so adorable. It's actually very different than it was when I was last here. Some things are the same, like that Andy's. That's been there forever. But yeah, I mean, this is all very different. The Pine Peaks restaurant and hotel thing right there, that's always been there. Not always, but that's been there since I've been here. I actually stayed in that hotel one time. Let's see. What else is going on around these parts? Not much. There's the post office. I'd go there with my grandma all the time. We'll also go visit my grandpa and my aunt's graves. I haven't been there in so long, and I want to visit them. Sorry, I'm getting emotional. This is just so... It just feels... I used to go to that place a lot, that ice cream place. Wow, this just feels so weird to be here. This used to be a movie rental place. I want to say the guy that owned it was named Jay, because he was always like, can we go to Jay's? Can we go to Jay's? It may have just been the name of the town and the name of the store, but I was always like, Grandma, can we go to Jay's? Can we go to Jay's? Wow, this feels so weird. This feels just so weird. Crowdy actually used to be down there in that building. That's where it used to be, and then it moved to its current location. So this is just so much fun. So I just passed by City Hall, Cross Lake City Hall, and I wish I would have had my oh, that's where the wedding's gonna be. I wish I had had my camera on at the time, because that was actually where karate was when I first started, when I was 7 years old, like 2003, and that's where it was when it first started. And then it moved to this really tiny place, which I think honestly should be like right in this general vicinity. I don't think it's there anymore, but it used to be like right in this general vicinity right here. And then it moved to that place I showed you, like that was way down that hill, and then the place that it's at right now, which we're gonna turn around now eventually here. Oh my God, Moonlight Bay. I mean, I am seriously just going through, like going, oh my God, I know all these places. And it feels so good to be home. It feels so good to be home. Okay, so I stopped there. We just talked for a while, and it's so amazing, but here it is. If you want to see the inside, that's on my Love and Sippets channel right now. Bye. Say hi, Dylan.
Hi.
I'm on the phone. I'm on the phone with Dylan, but we're about to drive by my old house. Yay, old house. Dylan can't see.
Yay, old house.
Dylan can't see what I'm doing. He's on the phone. I'm gonna try really hard not to show the...
I think I can't see what you're doing.
That's creepy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, way to be creepy, Dylan. All right, so here's my old house.
Oh, no,
oh, here's my old house. And now when Dylan watches this video coming up, right down there, let's be creepers and stop right in front of it. Woo! That's my old house. Anyway.
Woo!
Almost took out a mailbox doing that. But yeah, so I'm gonna be really cautious when I edit this, just to make sure it doesn't show the display showing your number on my car.
Oh, okay, good.
Oh, which way should I go? Which way should I go? Let's go by the old chapel, and then I'll go up to Pequot. Oh, man. So now we're getting into Pequot Lakes. We, as in me and Dylan, because Dylan's still on the phone. And right here, this big white building that looks like the White House is City Hall, but it used to actually be my parents' old candle company, like gift shop and office and factory. And this is Pequot Lakes. Whoa, yay, Pequot Lakes, kind of.
Yay.
We're gonna go by my old high school, and then I'm gonna be done driving for the night, and I'm gonna go to Shayna's house, well, Shayna's mom's house, and sleep, because I've had a day. So we're coming up onto my old school, which I know is super different, because I've seen pictures, and it already looks pretty different from what I'm driving up into. Holy moly. Well, that entrance is different. Oh my God! Oh my God, that's huge. Oh, it's just very different. It's just very, very, very different. Holy crap.
Yeah.
They built a new gymnasium, and it's huge.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.